Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week. So today, Rachel, we're talking about behavioural science today.
Oh gosh, that sounds complicated.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting sort of subject. It's really about, you've heard of the idea of giving somebody a nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, behavioural, I suppose this article we're talking about is all about nudging people from the future.
Okay.
Yeah, using artificial intelligence.
You're going back in time.
Ooh, now, are you going back in time or are you going forward in time?
Well, you said it's people nudging people from the future.
Yeah, but using artificial intelligence.
So it's nudging you now.
Yeah, but it's your future self giving you a nudge today.
So it's coming back in time. It's coming backwards to you now rather than you going forwards.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah. I had to think about that one for a second. Am I going forwards or is it going back?
What will you have achieved by this time next year, Paul?
Exactly, and that's exactly what it's about.
That's going into the future and looking back. Future, present, perfect, everybody.
That's exactly what this article is about, isn't it? It's about scientists or researchers who have taken some AI technology and created a future version of somebody to give that person advice in the present time.
Mm-hmm. So you are talking to you in the future.
Yeah, you're basically talking to a version of you who is like 60 years old.
Okay.
When you're maybe 21 or something.
I'm going to say, because that's not far off for us.
No, it's ages away, yeah. Yeah, I'm still young. But imagine you're 21, but you could talk to the 60-year-old you.
Okay.
And that 60-year-old you can give you advice.
Right.
It sounds very much like sort of science fiction. I'm sure there's a movie out there where someone's tried to do this.
Yeah.
What do you think, though?
Yeah. What would you ask your 60-year-old self?
Why are you not a millionaire?
Where did it go wrong?
Yeah. All sorts of questions like that, I suppose.
Okay.
But I suppose, realistically, when you age and you get more experience, you do look back on your previous decisions and think, well, why did I do that? Why did I do this? Do you think that's true?
Yeah, you can sort of see the chain reaction of you doing something and where it led to you are now.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I went to work on a Friday and a Saturday in McDonald's, that kicked off a whole series of chain of events that brought me to Italy now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it, to be honest. I don't think there's anything I could think back to that I would say kicked off any kind of chain of events.
About moving in next door to me?
I don't know. Maybe that was just a big mistake. But the aim of this project, it's MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They say the aim is to encourage people to give more thought today to the person they want to be tomorrow.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I think that's a great thing.
Give more thought today to the person you want to be tomorrow.
I'm sure there's a catchy sort of
cheesy
tagline in there as well.
Yeah.
Be the person you want to be tomorrow today. We shouldn't belittle it. I'm sure it's a very interesting and informative project.
At least they're trying.
Yeah.
You know, it depends how much those 20-year-olds, you know, are they being open and honest? Because I understand there's a series of questions they have to answer first to give the AI some information so it builds a reputable, a reliable, you know,
model.
Yeah. But, you know, they've got to understand that they're just talking to AI. It isn't really a future self. You know, this isn't something that's giving them honest advice. It's just making assumptions and
Yeah.
a variety of different things could happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they do give an example of a young person who wanted to be a teacher, I think.
Biology teacher, yeah.
And then the 60-year-old version sort of, gave highlights of their career and said, this is what you've achieved throughout your life.
They wrote, most rewarding moment was helping a student turn around their grades.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking back to when I was 20. I might have had an idea about what I wanted to do, but those ideas and those thoughts can definitely change when you're young. You might think at one stage, I want to be a biology teacher. And then 2 or 3 years later, no, I don't want to teach biology. I want to work for a bank. Mm-hmm. You can easily change your mind when you're young.
Maybe you'd need to check in with this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You have to feed it over time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you can't just answer one set of questions and then that's it. It has to be an ongoing process.
Wouldn't they be better off building an actual time machine so you could actually go and talk to your future 60-year-old self? Mind you, wouldn't it be awful though if you went to the future to talk to your 60-year-old self and find out you got run over by a bus and you weren't there?
It would be horrible, yeah.
Oh dear. You'd avoid buses, wouldn't you, for the rest of your life?
Yeah, you would. Well, obviously, if you could travel into the future and found that you died in a terrible accident, say 3 years from now, then you would be able to do something to change the future.
But could you?
I don't know. I'm sure there's another movie in that somewhere as well.
Whatever you do, it leads you to the same point.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Well,
I don't think they're opening a can of worms here.
Oh, of course
I think it's much better not to know.
Okay.
Base your decision. That's how everybody learns. Everybody learns by making mistakes. The person who didn't make a mistake never learned anything.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
It builds your character, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I think they're the idea of this project, and they do sort of detail it, that it's about nudging people to make better decisions.
Save for the future now. Start up a pension. It's sponsored by the pension companies, I bet you.
But they do say, one of the researchers says, if implemented effectively, this has the potential to significantly impact how people make decisions today with their future well-being in mind. And I can understand that's a good thing, Should you start exercising now?
Well, let me ask you, if you could go back and talk to your 21-year-old self,
yeah,
what would you tell them to do? What would you tell them not to do?
That is a good question. I'm not sure I've put enough thought into that, to be honest, to have an answer to that.
And you'd also have to think of the repercussions if you tell them to do something that they didn't do or to not do something that they did do. What would happen then? They might make a bigger mistake.
Yeah. It's not as easy as just sort of telling your younger version of you to not do something which you know is a mistake.
Yeah, butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah. If I hadn't done all the things that I did do and had all of those experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today.
That's a beautiful third conditional there, Paul.
Yeah.
Fantastic grammar.
Thank you. And I have to admit, I'm pretty happy with who I am today. Yeah.
You're not a millionaire?
No, but, money isn't everything.
He's nodding his head there.
Yes, it is. Money is everything, yeah. Money's not everything. No, I prefer happiness to money. I prefer having the freedom and the time to do things rather than money.
Control over your life.
Yeah.
Not having a boss.
Yeah. Not having a boss. Yeah. Anyway, would you like to speak to your 60-year-old AI version of you?
It's only 6 years from now, so I don't think we'd have much to say. I'd still be doing DIY painting and walking the dog. So, what are you doing right now? The same as you were doing last week. So don't worry about it.
So you don't think your 60-year-old version, your 6-year-old self will have any insights to offer?
I don't think anything is going to drastically change in my life between now and when I turn 60.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Okay, well, you never know.
However, if my 60-year-old self could talk to my 20-year-old self,
Maybe.
I think the same dilemma would sit as with you, that it's like, well, what do you say? You seriously need to think about it. And I would seriously want to understand the repercussions if I make myself do something different.
Yeah, it's true.
I might disappear in a puff of smoke because then I wouldn't.
You will never have existed. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. It's complex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think, artificial intelligence, I think it's obviously it's still very much an emerging technology.
It's changing every week, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just getting crazy.
Yeah. And you never know. Maybe we'll all one day have an avatar of our future selves.
Do you remember Tamagotchis?
Yeah, I do. A Tamagotchi, yeah.
People might not know this. People who are a lot younger than us.
A big Japanese thing, wasn't it? Tamagotchi.
You had this before. This was like a tiny little electronic gadget where a Tamagotchi was some kind of animal, and you had to keep him alive by feeding him, looking after him,
giving it love and care, and playing. Yeah.
Maybe the Tamagotchi of the future is going to be an AI version of you.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have a constant companion that you've got to feed it with information so it can advise you and build the model more complex.
Yeah.
There's some money in that. If anybody wants to invest in that, I'm going to copyright it. I'm stamping my copyright on that idea now. Future Tamagotchi.
AI Tamagotchis, yeah. I bet you there's somebody already thinking about that as well somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah.
They're probably millionaires.
Probably.
Okay.
That's the problem. Somebody else always has the good ideas a few minutes before me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Now, if you could talk to your future self, they might have told you that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a nice and short one this week, but it's a very interesting point that's going to get your brain in a real mix thinking about it.
Yeah.
Have a look at the article and have a think of what you would like to speak to your older or younger self about.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast, and please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.